Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pikeville City Commissioners Report. I'm your host, Jill Fraley-Dawson, for the City of Pikeville. Today's guest, Pikeville City Commissioner Steve Hartsock. Hey, Steve. Good. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
First time we've been together since we turned 2019, so we're excited, to talk about some things coming up. But on today's show, we're going to talk a lot about things that happened last year in 2018 that the City Commission and was involved in, and all the different events that we had, and certainly what we can look forward to in the new year. So one of the biggest events we had last year was the second annual, I guess you could say, Winterfest. It was in the city park. So update us a little bit, if you would, on how different it was this year as compared to the first year.
Well, Jill, this past year, we increased the size of the skating rink down there. And every time I went down there, it was great crowds, people enjoying it. We had some weather issues a few days in December, which that's to be expected with a lot of rain that we've had, but everybody just seemed to have a great time with that. And they added some new things in the park, like the high school band, selling Christmas trees, and it just brought a different atmosphere this year. It was more festive, brought more people in.
Yeah, I always said, especially with our first year, that the park was decorated so nicely that it kind of looked like a Hallmark Christmas movie. This year, it took on a whole new look and even looked more so like that picture-perfect postcard or that scene that you see out of a Hallmark movie. So a lot of time and effort went into making last year's Winterfest bigger and better, and I'm certain that this year the planning is already going on.
It is. They'll work all this year on the holidays coming up this winter, and they just make it bigger and better every year.
Yeah, another event that we had in December that was beautiful was an event at the Expo Center that was the Winterfest Craft Fair, but also Cirque Musica came in for a wonderful Christmas show.
Yes, it was. It was the first time they had been here, and it drew a great crowd for the first time. The kids and everybody just had a wonderful time at the Expo Center this year with different vendors throughout the hallways, the breezeways down there, and everybody just had a great time.
It is awesome to see so many families coming out and enjoying what the city is offering and making it so that you never have to leave the city of Pikeville to enjoy the holidays. And certainly, even ringing the new year with a great party at the Expo Center, 80s theme, a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. I attended that New Year's Eve night, and there was estimated around 500-600 people there. And for the first year, that was tremendous. And between Paul and Larry and Josh, they just make, and the whole staff at the Expo, they make you feel so much at home there. And it really turned out to be a great night.
Certainly did. I have no doubt that that's an event that's probably going to take place this year as we ring in 2020.
Yeah, I look for that to go bigger and better every year.
Yeah.
If we have 500-600 this year, you can imagine what next year will bring.
Yeah, and I know that Andy and I had talked a lot about how we were going to do ice skating in the park too for the new year, and the rain and the weather just did not cooperate. So we're going to try to do that again.
We'll get there.
We will get there at some point, certainly so. Speaking of the Expo Center, we always discuss the fact that the Expo Center is not just for your bigger parties, your 500-600 people, your basketball events, that they can be booked anytime throughout the year for any kind of group that you have. But one big thing that's going on or just ended at the Expo Center is the boys and girls All-A regional tournaments. A heavily attended event. It is over now, and they're going on to their respective state competitions. But that's a big draw for not only our parents, but our student athletes that get to participate.
It is. It gives kids around here the opportunity to play in a venue that they normally wouldn't get to unless they go through college and go on to bigger and better things. But it's a great atmosphere down there. It's tournament time. Everybody just loves going.
We always talk about 15th Region basketball as some of the best basketball that you'll see in the state. And obviously this showcases our smaller schools, not just the larger ones too. But it is amazing, like you said, for those student athletes to get on the floor, to get on a college floor, and to play the game that they love.
Yes, some of them, it'll be the biggest venue they ever play in. And I would like to congratulate Shelby Valley on their win yesterday and the Paintsville Lady Tigers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I attended both of those games, and it was wonderful to see people from all over our region get to come and utilize our facility. You know, we talk about it being one of the gems of Pikeville, certainly probably the biggest that we have, but to see those people get to come from all over the region and enjoy our venue is certainly something to see.
It gives us a chance to showcase what we got and let everybody enjoy it, and that's what we want.
Absolutely, want to bring those people in to show them what we have. Another event that's going to happen at the Expo Center, certainly my nephew is all excited about it because he's a dirt bike fanatic. Motocross is going to be February 1st and 2nd.
Yes, it is Ronnie Farmer. He's president of Interstate Battery, helps put this show on. And so if you're a motorcycle enthusiast, I would strongly urge you to go and come watch this.
It is, and it's been there, seems like it's been there several times since the Expo Center opened its doors, and I know Josh loves to have all that dirt come in and to have to clean it up. But it really is one of those events that it's not just for, you think about like little dads and their little boys go into these events, but I know there's so many little girls that love the motocross bikes and motorcycles. So it's an event for everyone to come and enjoy with their families.
Yes, it's amazing the show that they can put on with these motorcycles and do what they do. So it's quite amazing.
We do want to mention that children 4 and under are free, and there are discounts for children, and if you're a member of the military. There are discounts available as well.
We encourage people, when you go to buy your tickets, to ask about our discounts and stuff, because we got great deals going on at the Expo. They always try to make it affordable for everyone. For everyone,
and get the shows in that really speak to everyone's interest as well. Ticketmaster, you can get your tickets at the Appalachian Wireless box office or on Ticketmaster.com. So if you just type in East Kentucky Expo Center, all of the events coming up will be there. And also the event coming up in June, which is going to be Paw Patrol, 2 days coming up, that will also be on that, so you can get your tickets as well. Another event coming up on February 16th at the Expo Center, of course, our big venue, is the first time we have done a Bourbon and Spirits Winter Fair. Talk a little bit about what that is.
Well, it's going to be bourbon and cigar. It's going to call it Winter Fest. They've already sold, I think, like 200 tickets for that or something. It kind of coincides with the Oktoberfest, just a different version. So we really expect a good crowd there for this. It's going to be inside, of course, so everyone can come and enjoy this.
Yeah, it's one of those really unique events that if you have an interest in how bourbon is made, a lot of craft beer vendors will be there, of course, highlighting our gym on Hambley Boulevard, which is Dueling Barrels. You're going to be able to see them. And then a lot of your different cigar industries and makers are going to be there too. You can also find those tickets on Ticketmaster or at the box office, and certainly there are a lot of flyers and different literature around town. But the big thing is that there's going to be demonstrations, tastings, and of course souvenirs that folks can purchase from 1 to 6 at the Expo Center.
Yes, I know. I talked to Larry the other day. I know Jim Beam is going to be, I think, 4 distillers so far. So it's really going to be, if that's your cup of tea, that's really going to be nice to go to.
Again, an event for everybody, going to be held February 16th from 1 to 6 at the East Kentucky Expo Center. And I do want to mention, too, that you can get VIP passes early on for an additional cost. So that's going to be a really fun, interesting event to see how distillers and craft beer makers hone their craft.
There's a lot goes into it that you can learn at events like this, stuff you didn't know.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of Dueling Barrels, I was in the gift shop the other day, and if you haven't been in, we invite everybody to go in, take a tour, and see the gift shop. They were telling me, though, that the bourbon that is made here will take 2 years to age, so they can't even sell what they're making there yet for 2 more years, but certainly you can try Town Branch and some of the other offerings they have there. Josh Turner, a big country music superstar. He's going to be at the Expo Center in February also.
Yes, talking to them, I know they still have some tickets available. They're selling well right now, but that'll be a great show to go to. It
will be. He's an up-and-comer, has some great country songs, got a great band coming with him. So don't forget Josh Turner. And Travis Tritt's going to be our Hillbilly Days concert. So tickets are still available there. They are selling well. But like I said, if you go on to Ticketmaster and you look up, just type in East Kentucky Exposition Center, it will show you all the events that we have. And you can go ahead and get your tickets.
Yes, I'd encourage people to go ahead and get the Hillbilly Day concert tickets, because they will go fast.
It will go fast. Travis Tritt's one of my favorites.
Mine
Authentic country to the bone, so we're excited to see him. St. Patrick's Day, another one of our favorite holidays coming up, and we're going to celebrate a little differently this year on March 16th.
We are. We're working with Dueling Barrels right now, and I know they're going to have different variety of things outside. I know they're having a block party at Bank 253 that night. I think we're going all out for St. Patrick's Day this year, and that's kind of new to this area, but away from here, it's a great draw for people.
It really is. I mean, you think about the large events held in Chicago is the first one that comes to mind, in Boston and New York. But here, with our connection now with Dueling Barrels and Pierce Lines as Irish heritage, it just works hand in hand.
He brought this with him.
He did. He absolutely did. And it's a different feel. And there's going to be bluegrass bands and Irish bands there.
Great food and drink.
Amazing food. And some dances, traditional, like you said, Irish and Appalachian food, and ending the night with a block party at Bank 253. And this is just a spinoff of an event they did back in the fall, where they got together and had a block party. So I have no doubt that those two joining forces on St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yes. The Second Street will be the place to be.
It will be, absolutely so. So that's going to be on March 16th. And, of course, we'll talk about that closer to time and maybe release some more information. But you're always so good to come and tell us what's happening and what people can do downtown, because you really are interested in bringing people to the downtown area as a commissioner and making sure that everybody knows the great things that Pikeville has to offer.
Well, we like to bring people downtown. We like to give them what they want to see, so just get a hold of one of us. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. We want to hear it all. So.
The good and the bad, but certainly hearing all of those comments can make it better in every way.
Yes, and the events at the expo, these guys down there, the whole entire staff at that expo is doing such a fabulous job on. It don't have to be something big. Just any event they put on, they're so helpful to you when you're down there. So I encourage everyone to let's support them down there.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Steve, thanks so much for your time today. I always look forward to sitting down and chatting about things the commission has going on and making sure that our community knows that it's completely transparent. We want to hear the good. We want to hear what you're having some issues with, but certainly all working together to make the city of Pikeville the best it can be.
Thank you, Jill.
Steve, thanks so much. Okay. This has been Steve Hartsock and the Pikeville City Commissioners Report. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pikeville City Commissioners Report. I'm your host, Jill Fraley-Dotson, along with our newly elected Pikeville City Commissioner, Allison Powers. Allison, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Jill. I appreciate it.
This will be the first time that we've got to sit down and chit-chat about what your goals are as a commissioner and everything that has happened since elected. You just have hit the ground running. I mean, you're just a few weeks into this. So first, let's talk a little bit about Allison and let people get to know you. Tell us about your family.
Okay, well, I was born and raised in Pikeville. I grew up on Chloe, and my parents are Danny and Patsy Akers, wonderful parents. I graduated from Pikeville High School. I was very proud of that, graduating in the top 10, and then went on to the University of Kentucky, where I studied two majors. I had a double major and two bachelors in science and biology and psychology, and a Spanish minor. So I speak some Spanish too, which is interesting.
That's something we didn't know for sure. It has
a little bit of a Pikeville accent to it, but I speak Spanish. And so after college, I moved back home. I always knew I wanted to come back home. And I had 4 lovely, wonderful children, actually 4 total. I have Colin, Campbell, Court, and Darby, so 3 boys and a daughter. And my husband is Doug Powers, and people probably know him from sports in the past.
Basketball days.
From basketball and football days. Right. And he graduated from Pikeville as well. He's actually in the Pikeville Sports Hall of Fame there, so that's a very big honor. So I always brag about him on that one. So that's basically my background in a nutshell. And now I've been working as a pharmaceutical rep for several years and have been award-winning in those positions with some of the largest companies, actually the largest company in the world, pharmaceutical company. So I'm really proud of that.
So you have a pretty demanding job in your personal life as a pharmaceutical rep. A lot of travel, a lot of getting to be in different areas and really see what other communities might have to offer and what they might be lacking and how we can make Pikeville a little bit different. Also, mom of 4, that's no easy feat, and a wife. Also, you're one of the youngest commissioners that we've ever had, and obviously female, so you bring a different perspective to the commission and what they're going to look forward to and what they have to offer. So I know you're really excited.
Yes.
One thing I have to ask you though, because you're so busy and you have such a career and you have your family, why run for city commissioner?
You know, one thing above everything, and Doug, my husband, can attest to this, is that I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of energy to give, and I just love doing things. And I always call myself a doer. And one of those things is community service. I truly have a heart for community service and a passion and a heart for Pikeville, for our area. I've always thought in my mind, even years ago, I wanted to leave Pikeville a better place than when I was here. Some of the things, as far as community service. About 8 years ago, my friend and I co-founded the first organized running group in our area, and it's called Big Sandy Road Runners, but it is actually a chapter of the Road Runners Club of America. So we are chartered, we pay dues, we're insured, so it's a fabulous community organization across the United States. So helped organize that. Also, and on the city 5K committee here, in the last couple of years, and I've really loved seeing this, but it's been really a blossoming of people in our community wanting to get out and walk and exercise and get fit. We have one of the highest rates of obesity and heart disease and diabetes in the country, and I love seeing this trend more towards health and fitness and eating good and exercising. So I hope I'm helping a little bit with that in our community.
You know, I can remember years ago, you and I have known each other for a long time, we talked about running. And have you always been a runner, or is this something that you just adopted maybe 10 years ago?
It was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was in 2009, actually, right at 10 years ago. So a friend of mine did a half marathon, actually did a marathon, and I thought, you know, she's not a superhuman. I thought you had to be like an Olympic superhuman to do something like that. And I'm like, I'm just a normal person. She's a normal person. If she can do it, maybe I could do it. And that's really what spurred it. And so I started running at the time. It was just myself running by myself. And then over the next couple of years, I did a couple of half marathons, but wasn't real consistent with it. And then in 2007, I met a couple of my friends who also, like-minded, had a love of running. And at the time, I remember people thinking, oh my gosh, it's just this crazy thought of running. Why would you run 3 miles?
Just because you wanted to.
Yeah, for fun. Why would you, even now, you know? But it's been a wonderful thing to see, because really, truly, when I first started running, only maybe 2 or 3 people in Pikeville that I knew of were running. And now you see people always walking and running around Pikeville, the sidewalk all the way around, and doing events and biking, and I love that. I really love it.
I know that you have such a love of that, and that's some of your goals as a commissioner is to make sure that this continued idea of health and fitness and activity really stays, not only for our adult community and our senior community, but also for our kids. And I think one of the most important things that I know you always talk about, it doesn't matter where you are, where you start in your journey, it's that you just put your feet to the ground and start to move.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have friends of mine who didn't start running until their 60s, and they've run half marathons. I mean, if you have good health, you can do it.
Yeah, and you never know when you might be in, say, not as good a shape, how that running can put you into better health and lengthen your life ever how many years and really make you feel better. And that's it's not about, you know, it's more about a lifestyle, not about just getting out there and doing it. So really. There's a lot of exciting things coming. One of the things that's coming up in our community, you talked about your group, Big Sandy Road Runners Club, the collaboration of a group from Williamson that you're teaming up together to really spur people's interest. Talk a little bit about that.
This is very exciting, and this just happened in the last month or so. But we have our Big Sandy Road Runners Club here in Pikeville, based in Pikeville, and there's also a Tug Valley Road Runners group in Williamson. So our 2 groups are coming together for the first time, and we're going to work together on, let's say, a series of events that we're going to be doing, and it's going to be exciting, with the goal of having people, our 2 running communities just coming together, but people that run in Pikeville maybe can go in Williamson and run it. People that run in Williamson can come in Pikeville to run, and to collaborate our efforts. And I think because of that, I'm hoping it will raise more excitement and more awareness. We're also going to advertise it in Floyd County and different county, all of Pike County, of course.
To make sure both communities are highlighted. Yeah. Also, as a commissioner, we talked about running, of course. Tourism is another big thing on your list, and we have such a wonderful tourism department. We always want people to come and see what we have to offer. And I find in my travels, and I'm sure with yours, even now as a commissioner, you find people will say, how do you get this in Pikeville? What are you doing there to offer all of these wonderful events? And certainly we want to expand upon that. So tourism is big on your agenda as well.
Very much so, because I have learned and I've seen over the last couple of years all the events that we have put on and all the different things that we offer, and people coming in. My friends in Lexington that I know are like, hey, I'm coming to Pikeville for, you know, the Travis Tritt concert and Hillbilly Days, and that kind of example. And when it brings those people here, they stay in our hotels, they eat in our restaurants, they shop in our stores, and it helps the whole community. It's such a good thing. So we need to keep what we have and grow up on it. It's very important.
And I think one of the greatest things that those people do, not only do they stay, sleep, and eat here, but they go back home and they use the word of mouth to tell other members in their community and their friend groups what we're offering here. I saw it with Winterfest for the past 2 years, how people that thought you had to go to your larger cities like Lexington and Cincinnati and Louisville to ice skate, you don't have to do that anymore. So those are the kind of events that we're bringing in, and Hillbilly Days certainly is always a big draw. Also, along with the running aspect, there is a big interest in biking in our community, something that's a renewed interest, I think, from years ago in a totally different way. I mean, it's we're talking about bike paths being built in the city for people. So talk a little bit about that aspect.
Well, you know, you mentioned earlier about traveling in my work to different towns and different areas, and I do. I've been really blessed to do that. And you see different things, you know, Lexington, Chicago, New York, wherever the places we begin, these bigger cities, these more modern cities, if you will, have bike paths and bike plans and bike signs. It's really important, and a lot of people do that. And Pikeville, I consider also a modern city in our area, and it's something that we need too and that we should have. And so we're lucky we got a grant for a bike plan some time ago, and that's one of the things that I'm helping to kind of push and nudge along and give ideas and work towards, and I'm really excited about it because there is a biking community in Pikeville, and that also surprised me. Last year I held the first ever planned and organized the first ever bike rally. And I really thought it would be like myself and 2 or 3 of my best friends. So that day, over 100 cyclists came out. Could not believe it. And that showed me there is a community in Pikeville that wants to be able to bike safely and take their kids out and bike safely.
And that's the thing, too, because there are a lot of people, and we talked about being healthy enough to run. Running and biking are 2 totally different forms of activity. And there are a lot of people who might have joints, you know, like knee joints that don't allow them to run, but certainly biking is a better way for them to get their exercise and burn the calories and certainly give them a healthier heart than what they had before. So joining those 2 groups together and realizing that there is a biking community here and getting our kids involved at an early age, not only teaches them about health and wellness, but also about great family activity.
Absolutely. So much of our time now is spent on TVs and computers and iPads and screens, and so we try to get our kids out biking especially. It's something we can all do, and we all have bikes, and we get out and try to bike around. So.
Disconnect from the technology just for a moment and really enjoy
Doug and I really try to do that with our kids.
I'm trying to do it with my 4-year-old, and I'm just trying to start from the beginning. It is. With the time that we have left, I know that you are thankful for the people who have elected you as city commissioner, and I just want to give you the opportunity to address them if you'd like to, and just to let them know that you're on the job and you're ready to go.
You know, I am very grateful, and I thank each and every person that voted for me. You know, on election night, we honestly, truly didn't know which way it would go. You know, we hoped it would go the way it did. So I really feel blessed and fortunate that it did. And I want everyone to know that if they ever want to contact me, I've already had several people contact me with problems or issues, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to do. So don't hesitate, call me. I know some people are hesitant to go to the city meetings, just maybe they can't after working all day, or they just, you know, they just can't go for whatever reason. That's where I'm going to try to be as open and transparent about things going on in the city. And this program does that very thing. You know, it's wonderful to let people know, hey, this is what's Winterfest is going on, or the bourbon and the cigars thing. So that's one of the things I want to tell people. If they want to contact me, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, however they want to get a hold of me,
You're there.
Cell phone, call me. Let me know. I love it.
That's one of the great things about our commission. All 4 of our commissioners have always been great about being transparent, along with Mayor Carter and Philip Ellswick, our city manager. We invite everybody to our city commission report or city commission meetings each month, because the city is an open book, and like, you know, all the commissioners always talk, if you want to brag on us, we love that too. But if you have an issue, we want you to come so we can help solve those issues.
And that's one of the first things I noticed, how transparent they really were. I mean, everything is there for everybody to see, you know, and that's how it should be.
Well, we certainly do welcome you to the City Commission. Thank you for your enthusiasm and what you're bringing to the table. And certainly we'll meet back up and talk at least once a month about what's going on, so you can enlighten everybody in the community about what the commission is doing.
Okay, we'd love that.
Thank you, Allison Powers, Pikeville City Commissioner. This has been the Pikeville City Commissioners Report. Thank you so much for joining us.